And we're live.
Woo!
Chris, you know what that means?
What does that mean?
I don't know. We're live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop, pop.
Pop, pop. Trying to find the link to send to people, but it hasn't actually popped up on our YouTube yet.
Well, we'll just roll with it like it is. What episode are we on? 47?
Yep.
Woo!
That
We
is
did it.
correct. Hey, we're live
We did
now.
it. Are you going to tell everyone why we weren't here last week?
Yeah, we probably will.
After I told you to make a social media post and you didn't?
It hurt! Shut up, Chris.
Huh?
Shh.
Can't shush the truth.
No one asked you, Chris. All right,
I
it's
know.
on Twitter.
Why I'm saying it.
It's on Twitter. And now it's on the Facebooks. Who's that?
Who's what?
What was that noise?
That was me yawning.
Ugh, you're the worst.
You're the worst.
Chris, just once. Don't be the worst. Why don't you start talking about stuff, telling people what this is and junk while I get
Oh,
all set up.
yeah. Okay, well, welcome to episode 47 of the NOLAnerdcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And we are here with our first long-distance show of the new era. If you were following us on iTunes or YouTube, you saw that the last episode recorded was the end of the era episode. Horrific misnomer, because everyone thought we were canceling the show.
Yeah, that was fun.
We're not. We're still here. We're just separated by about 500 miles. And last week we tried to do this thing, and Google shat the bed so hard that we were unable to get anything up and running. So we're here this week to make up for it.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's now posted on Stuff and Junk. So, we got that going on for it.
That's exciting.
All right. Well, Chris.
Yeah.
You read all your books digitally because you're a punk.
I am a punk, and I loved it.
Why you got to be that way?
Why you gotta be so
Because I love it. I liked getting them in about 10 minutes and then not having to store them anywhere. It was great.
I don't know, Chris.
What?
I don't know
Look at them
about
feet.
that. What?
Look at them feet.
I don't know how to switch the camera around in this thing.
Look at those feet.
Goodness.
Hi, Kevin!
Kevin's here.
Hi.
We've become one of those channels.
Hey, at least he didn't just pop up furiously masturbating.
I mean,
Yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
The night is young.
The night is quite young, and I'm going to figure out how to do this somehow.
you do that. We'll handle things on this front.
You.
So Matt, we got to catch up on some stuff. Do you want to pop through the news real quick?
Yeah. You know what? Why don't we do that, Crizzle?
How about I do that? All right, so this is 2 weeks worth of news. Try to keep this fairly brief. Billy D. Williams is going to get his shot to be the Two-Face in the Lego Batman movie.
He was technically already Two-Face.
Yeah, but he was only Harvey Dent. Now he's going to be officially Two-Face.
I mean,
Chris, why is your webcam so garbage?
Who?
Yours.
Mine?
You're super
What's wrong
blurry.
with it? It's fine. Listen, this is the one that came on the laptop. You work with what you got. Christian Strain and Amilcar Pina are going to launch Generation X, which is going to be a new X team led by Jubilee. Still a vampire.
Already bored.
what? Wait, what?
Jubilee's a
Yeah,
vampire.
Jubilee's a vampire.
Oh my god.
She wasn't doing anything else. Sina Grace and Alessandro Vitti are going to be the creative team for the new Iceman ongoing, coming out of Resurrection.
More like
We have Marvel and Cap. What?
right? More like Resurrect got wrecked, shun.
Did it? We have Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which we'll talk about a little later, I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought I was waiting for you to come up with something like, yes, we will talk about that later.
Sure, we definitely will, buddy.
All right. Way to be a jerk. We have our first teaser of Riverdale, which I am uncertain how to feel about.
The correct answer is you're super hyped, buddy.
I don't know that I am, because it's so weird. Oh, don't put that on there. Oh. It's a pre-order. It's not even the game. We have our bye. We have our creative team for the first two of the X-Men Gold and the X-Men Blue teams. Oh God, that thing. All right. X-Men Gold is going to be Mark Guggenheim and Artie and Siaf, and that team's going to have Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Old Man Logan, Rachel Gray, and Kitty Pryde as leader.
Will Storm have a mohawk?
No, Storm will no longer have a mohawk.
Then I'm in.
Okay. X-Men Blue will be Cullen Bunn and Jorge Molina, and that's going to be the time-displaced original 5 X-Men and Magneto. And it's going to be really interesting because they have not interacted with Magneto a whole lot, and they only remember him as a villain. So that should be some fun stuff. Doug Jones and Anthony Rapp are going to be joining the cast of Star Trek Discovery, so that's always exciting for me. Can't fall asleep on stream. Rob Letterman of Kung Fu Panda is going to be directing Detective Pikachu.
Ugh.
So
No, I'm good.
we did it, guys.
We made it happen, huh?
Huh?
You made it happen.
We did it. As a nation, we said Detective Pikachu is something we were going to get behind, and we did. The DuckTales reboot's coming summer 2017, so we can all enjoy that together.
Sure.
You don't want the DuckTales reboot.
Of course I do.
You're a fucking liar. Of course you do. Vin Diesel says Groot versus Hulk will happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I guess we can enjoy that at some point. The FX show Legion, their X-Men show, is going to be premiering in February, and the trailer for that came out, and that's also weird looking, and I'm unsure how to feel about it.
Well, Chris, I mean, real talk, it doesn't actually matter how you feel about it because you're not going to watch them.
You are not.
I don't know. I finished Westworld earlier tonight, so I'm catching up on things.
Wow. I'm impressed, Chris.
Thanks. Speaking of which, Luke Cage is getting a season 2. I look forward to watching that in 2023. We have the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 trailer, and everyone loves Baby Groot.
Ugh.
So
He's adorable.
It's gonna get sick real fast.
I bet he is.
They're like, boy, everyone really loved Baby Groot in the epilogue. We're just going to force feed him down to everyone. The whole movie.
Well, you know what? I actually don't mind that they're doing Baby Groot, because I think if they just regrew him, it would ruin all the consequences of the first movie.
I mean, he's kind of supposed to just regrow anyway.
That's kind of his thing, Chris.
He is regrowing. He's a tree.
We got the peanut gallery back here.
Yes, I heard. Greg Pak and Greg Land are launching Weapon X for Marvel. That's going to be one of the Resurrection books. That's going to be their X-Force team, so ooh. Mr. Nixiel Pitlick is coming to Supergirl. Enough reason to keep watching Supergirl.
Did you not have a reason, Chris?
No, I have more of a reason.
Do you just hate women?
Ooh.
No. What? Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale's coming out in 2017. Aquaman, the motion picture, is scheduled to hit October of 2018. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting a digital series featuring Yo-Yo. So if you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., more power to you. Wizard World's getting outside funding to continue the company and is expecting a company-wide reset to happen in the future. So all you genre celebrities, you can still make it. And we got the trailer for Transformers 5.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime fights Nazis.
But then is also brainwashed somehow.
We did it, America. That's 2 things we did.
2016 saved.
Not enough.
No.
Not enough.
No.
That's all the news that's fit to steal.
All right. Good talk, Chris.
Thanks.
So before we launch into the bevy of gaming stuff, including Final Fantasy 15, which is why our buddy Kevin's on the show, Were there any comics that stood out to you this week, Chris? What'd you actually pick up? I'm curious what you get without me.
Well, this week I picked up Superman because Frankenstein is a guest star in it.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that.
Which was great. I picked up Motor Crush, which is the book from the Team Batgirl people.
You mean this?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. It's fun. It's Speed Racer in the future, and also it has drugs. So
it's dystopian Speed Racer.
Yeah. I picked up the Flintstones, which tackled more religion in the end of the world, which is just very bizarre. But it's still one of my favorite things to read. I picked up Batman, which continues the Suicide Squad Batman crossover, and it's fine. I picked up Green Arrow, the new status quo of Oliver Queen living in the woods, trying to regain his company while he's being attacked on all sides by other nefarious interests. I picked up All New Wolverine, continuing Enemy of the State 2, where she is captured by her creator and a whole civilization. Yeah, that's it. I picked up Champions number 3, which is very much a message issue, where they fought.
They fight Islamic extremists.
Yes, it's a message issue in the same way that Miss Marvel was a message issue last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about that
with the voting,
but last week's Miss Marvel was "For the love of God, vote." It was far too late.
Probably should have come out a couple weeks earlier.
Yes. We got I picked up the Unworthy Thor, which is just a great Thor sci-fi story, really kind of revamping the cosmic universe. I picked up The Wicked and the Divine, which is going to read way better in trades. It is very odd and great. Yep. I picked up Midnighter and Apollo, which is awesome. Super great at all points.
Super awesome. Midnighter just punching demons in the face.
Yes. I picked up Josie and the Pussycats number 3. This one actually had a bit of drama in it, like actual drama that I found very commentary. Yeah, I found very endearing. I picked up Reggie and Me number 1, which had the hard-fought struggle of trying to make Reggie Mantle likable, and it did.
From the perspective of his dog.
Yeah, I kind of really liked it. Yeah, it was a hard sell, but I'm kind of interested. And I also picked up Unfollow, which may be the best issue of Unfollow so far and the most heartbreaking.
My store didn't have it. BSI is going to hold it for me when I come back for New Year's.
Dude, I had to put the iPad down. It's such a huge issue, and it explains the origin of the guy that created the 140.
Oh, son of a bitch. Of course.
It's great.
Fine. Well, these are the other things I picked up. Picked up Black Science, which the new arc's starting, and shit's getting real. Picked up your favorite book, Chris, Nightwing, which I really think
back in Bloodhaven.
It starts a new status quo. He goes to Bloodhaven and is shaking things up. It has a Gorilla Grimm from Gorilla City in it.
Oh, nice.
Picked up Green Lanterns because I love me some Green Lanterns. And finally, second issue of the book that you enjoyed.
Oh, I forgot that came out.
Yeah. Continues the crazy true story of a 1960s Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'll have to pick that up later.
Or is it 70s? It's old timey. So yeah, that's comics.
We did it.
Junk. What up? So hello to Stoner Girl, 169 Beautiful Diamond. She's back.
Hey.
I'm still convinced it's probably Scott.
Sounds like
about right.
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
What's up, Scott?
All right. So now that we got Feats here, what are we talking about?
Well, what's up, Feet?
Hey, Feet. I can't switch the camera. Fuck it.
How can you not switch the camera?
Look, I don't know how to switch the camera on the Surface Pro. I've never had to.
Oh, it's on a Pro. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Whatever.
I've actually never tried to switch the camera on a Surface. I don't think it does have a switched camera.
It's got a front camera. I mean, it's got a camera lens on the screen here. I just don't know how to switch to it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, what you gonna do?
That's okay. We'll just see your hairy ass legs for the rest of the night.
I'm okay with that. So yeah, why don't we? All right, we're gonna try our best to not spoil anything because Matthew is still on chapter 2. But let's launch ourselves into a discussion about everyone's favorite new game, Final Fantasy 15.
Kevin, do you want to take the lead?
Kevin,
Your microphone is muted. Mited?
Yeah, how did you get mited? Yeah.
I don't
know. Kevin's muted.
Kevin's muted, so I guess I'm going to take the start.
Chris, who's your favorite of the Backstreet Boys?
I love Ignis, but everyone knows Gladiolus is the actual best character.
That is true. Even early on.
That is factual. Yes. Prompto is fine, but he needs more dialogue because he keeps repeating the same things, and it's driving me nuts. But I played almost every Final Fantasy at least 6 hours worth. I've not finished anyone, so I'm very busy.
Sad.
But this is the most un-Final Fantasy I've ever played, and I'm having a lot of fun with it because I think Final Fantasy really needed a freshen up.
Man, I'm glad you're liking it. I'm very curious to see if you'll finish it because every time I think you will, you'll get like 60% into a game and then go, I'm moving on. Like I really thought you'd beat Mafia, but then you say you're going to put it onto the pile and then it's never revisited. That's
not true. It gets revisited sometimes. The thing is with Final Fantasy, because right now I don't have anything else pressing. Mafia had to be put to the back burner because everything was coming out.
True.
And the time to finish Mafia versus the time to tackle other things before the end of the year wasn't working. But having said that, I don't have anything coming out till February. I've got plenty of time to devote to it, and I'm having a lot of fun. I like having the car as a means of transportation, and I like having Ignis auto drive me to quest locations. I find that's really helpful, and that helps me out a lot.
Lazy.
I'm super lazy. And I also have the ability to give me AP points every time I go on a long car drive. So it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
But you're back on. You have audio now. What are your initial thoughts? You're the big Final Fantasy head.
It might be one of my favorite Final Fantasy games ever. They did a lot of right things. They make me love the 4 characters. I'm super glad I don't have to go out and find more characters to add to my group. It seems like they've taken these 4 characters, like, we're going to make this band of brothers. You're going to get to know them. You're going to come to them as a family, and you're going to love them, and you're going to spend the entire game with them. And I love that. And I'm only on chapter 3, but I have 30 hours in the game, and I just love the little missions and the side missions and the hunts and exploring the world. I walk on foot a lot of the times because that raises the survival skill. I even fish. I hate fishing.
The fishing minigame is so good.
It is.
I like fishing too.
Oh my god!
Who saw that coming?
No, I couldn't stand fishing, but I like this fishing for some reason. And I catch weird fish, and Ignis learns a new recipe, and it's great. And he cooks shit for me. Oh, it's like everything you do matters. Nothing is superfluous. Everything is great.
And real talk, the best thing about the game is driving around and listening to all their old soundtracks on the radio.
Absolutely. The fact that they have every old soundtrack in the game is just amazing. Like they was like, you know what? Let's just throw that in there for everything, like everything, including 11, which I was shocked that they added 11. I'm not surprised that they added 11. Shocked because nobody really counts it at all.
Yeah, when you traditionally make Final Fantasy lists, it's Final Fantasy 1 through 10. I guess 11 technically counts. 12, 13, and 15. And like 11 and 14 really get the short shrift.
In
well,
11,
the thing is, the people that love 11 and 14 freaking love 11 and 14.
yes,
There's no middle ground.
no. And the people who don't like 11 and 14 hate it. They're like, it's not really part of the series. It's part of the series. And I will argue to death. And as much as I had a love-hate relationship with 11, I will argue to death that 11 is probably one of the best stories ever, simply because it's such a giant, long, huge, all-encompassing story, which is kind of what I'm feeling with 15. It's this big world, and there's so much going on in it, and it just feels like this is big, huge, all-encompassing story. Now I don't have a spoiler. Somebody I work out with, his friend beat the game already, and he said one warning: it is just be prepared to cry. So saddle up. I don't know what that means.
That goes with a lot of things I've heard on Twitter about people who have finished the game, is that they've beaten the game and have sobbed for the rest of the day.
Also, there's going to be an update coming out for 15.
Yes. That was part of my news. They're going to add stuff into Chapter 13 and post-game.
Yes.
Yes.
They're also talking about adding, creating your own avatar so you can play with that later down the road, which I thought was weird. Just a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Here's the main part. Start a new game with your items and status from the previous game. Bigger font size, boss battles with rewards and achievements, limited time mob hunts, which I'm all down for, and other such things. So
I think the mob hunt system is one of the best implemented things in the game. I have a lot of fun going to these little taverns and handling with the hunts that they have set up.
Yeah, no, like it feels more alive that I'm going around to the Crow's Nest Diners, which are like this super chain I like. And they're just like, hey, we have a serious problem with these things. I do love, however, I love how I don't know if you've been paying attention to the wanted posters when you turn them in, but it's always for habitat destruction.
Yes, I have noticed that.
It's just like, go kill this toad in its habitat for destroying its own habitat. Like, all right, thank you. I'll take your
fuck that
I'll
toad.
take your 3,000 gil and your mega elixir, because I can't seem to find a place to buy mega elixirs anyway.
That's how they get you.
My only complaints so far are it's very hard to find gil unless you do the hunting.
No, absolutely.
And I find myself very low on gil a lot. And also, I'm not thrilled with the spell crafting system.
It's weird, especially since it hurts your team.
Sometimes, if you do it wrong.
If you do it wrong, it hurts your team. The spellcrafting system, it's kind of paid off for me, where I've had insta-kill spells and just hope to God that it clicked. I've had I always go for like tried, quad, and quint cast spells. I go for stop cast, which is really useful. But like if you just make a fire spell, it's kind of lame. If you make the special spells like venom and stop and kill and heal cast is really awesome. Those are pretty good. But it feels I do miss all the other spells. And there's clearly other spells in the game, like Prompto has a spell that creates gravity. I don't know why they couldn't make a gravity spell for me.
I do like the little tweaks, like when you summon Ramu into an open area versus indoors.
I saw Bienemi's video. I don't have any of the summons yet, so I'm super psyched. But
I don't have any of them either.
I saw Bienemi's video.
I find it hilarious because Bienemi is powering through that game. Not because he doesn't like to, do side quests and do everything, but because to him, he is so tweaking out, not playing Dark Souls enough. So he's like, I want to beat Final Fantasy 15 so I can get back to Dark Souls.
Fair enough.
Yes, I have very high hopes for the rest of this game, and I'm on Chapter 3 also, but I'm only 10 hours in roughly. I have very high hopes for the end game, at least for me.
I hear a lot of people complain about the end game because it gets super linear towards the end, and I go, and my only argument against that is like, well, it's so open world at some point. they're going to have to funnel us eventually. They can't just say,
otherwise how else is the story going to progress, guys?
yeah, they gotta funnel us somehow. They're some way force
Like-
us to go in a certain direction.
Every Final Fantasy does that. No matter how open they are, eventually you have to go to certain areas.
Oh yeah. I mean, as far as I always felt like every game was super linear anyway. It's like, yes, there's a world map, but eventually you just have to go somewhere anyway and be in a dungeon or be in a place that like is sort of on rails and you have to walk through. I never felt like there was a true like Witcher-like open world fight that was ever, though it would be cool. I mean, they this open world seems pretty awesome, and I hope they carry it into 16 whenever that comes out in the next 10 years when I'm 40 something.
I don't think we'll ever see a dev time this long again. I think because they finally switched to Unity.
Okay, yeah.
Like, or is it Unreal? It's one of the two. We'll actually get games made in a timely fashion.
I also think like the 13 series, we're going to see this reused at least a couple of times.
Well,
let me ask Kevin a question.
Okay.
And then Chris this question, because I know the answer for Kevin and I know the answer for Chris.
Okay.
Because Chris has not seen Kingsglaive, correct?
I have. I was there when we watched it.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, never mind. Well, I was going to ask your opinion for people on the necessity of watching that beforehand.
It is not necessary, but it is super interesting to know what happens. I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but like that time from when you leave the city and then you go to Golden Key, or Goldeen Quay, or where the hell, and you meet. Clearly, I think he's a villain. I don't know. That's not spoiling shit. To me, he's got to be the main villain.
Oh, that evil-looking dude?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's in the.
Arden.
He was Arden. Arden, right? Okay, he was in the movie. He was super evil. He had a sleeve that was a one wing, so that just immediately sends up flares in the Final Fantasy world that he's the bad guy.
Right.
He has one black wing sleeve. He's got to be the bad guy. But
Listen,
like, go ahead.
Matt, Callie saw him and said, "That's a villain."
Yep.
Yeah. But go to Kevin's right though. Like, and our friend Steven mentioned that they finally finished the story of Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah.
And it really makes me just want to log in just long enough to play through the storyline, just to actually get the storyline.
Yes.
Or at the very least, have someone compile a YouTube video, a movie of the entirety of Final Fantasy 11's story.
It would be a movie. It would probably be like a couple hours long.
And I'm okay with that because the problem with 11 and 14 are everyone says that the stories are actually phenomenal, but they're locked behind the need to play 1 billion hours of an MMO.
Yeah, 1 billion hours, but I hear 11's gotten a lot nicer. Even about a little nicer than 14 probably, just to keep players playing.
Because 11's like, they're at that
out.
twilight hours of an MMO where they're just kind of streamlining things to try and keep it limping along. There's no more expansions coming out.
Mm-mm.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I'm shocked there is no story for Final Fantasy 11 on YouTube.
There is some. You can look it up. The problem with it is it's all text and you have to read it.
That's no fun. Going back to your previous question about whether you should see Kingsglaive, I'd say it's kind of like a half recommend, because there are certain parts, particularly in the first 2 chapters, where shit starts going down and it's just recapping the movie.
Yeah, they actually use scenes from the movie.
So it's kind of like a half recommend in that those scenes get better context if you watch the whole shebang.
Okay.
But
yeah, and
it's still like a half recommend.
And it's like, if you really like the game and you want to know more, you absolutely watch the film, because it fills in a lot of these gaps, because they're just like, you're going to meet Luna Freya. You have no idea who the hell that is if you just pick up the game and play. But she's super important in the game. You just have no idea who she is. And the movie fleshes her out. And then, of course, the movie fleshes out more of Lucius and why it's important. It's like in the first 2 chapters, they talk about like a crystal and the other King Niflheim, and they really flesh a lot of the backstory out in the movie. And like I said, from the time you leave the city to the time you go to the Golden Key to get on the boat, which if that's a spoiler for you, I'm sorry, because that's very vague. And the movie happens. The movie literally happens from in the game. They just don't show it to you because it would be 2 hours of a film. But it fleshes out so much stuff, like what happened while you were driving from here to there, and it was a lot of shit apparently, and it is a lot of shit that happens. So,
Good to know.
yeah,
It's worth saying that it is by far the best Final Fantasy movie.
out of the 3 we have, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
the bar wasn't very high.
No,
But
but
I'm
I mean,
just really glad
like
that
every
everyone's-
Final Fantasy movie,
What?
it kind of is the best Final Fantasy movie.
But no, I'm just really glad everyone seems to be enjoying it because it was that real fear that a game that takes this long to come out would, the best example is Duke Nukem.
Ugh.
And I don't think the Final Fantasy brand would have survived 15 being a flop.
No.
I don't think it would have.
No.
But 14 being a huge success on its second attempt, and then 15 coming out, and then World of Final Fantasy being a surprise. And then next year they've got the remake coming. They've got Dissidia coming to a console. And then, we'll maybe hear something about Kingdom Hearts 3 in our lifetime. It's nice to see that Square Enix is back on track. Because they had a
It
rough,
sure seems to be.
10 years.
Oh God, absolutely. I mean, 13 was successful, but it was unpopular. Like people bought it because it was a Final Fantasy, and then after that, it was just nobody really liked it. And then the following sequels were just. I think the problem with the Final Fantasies themselves were after about 10, it was 2 MMOs and 2 games, and 12 and 13 were super crazy, weird Japanesey like Bayonetta type stories and even 10 started to get. I still don't understand 10. Like I still really don't understand what happened in 10. They started going off the deep end and got those weird like crazy Bayonetta like storylines where it's just like, oh, the Ilse and the Farseed and the Godzilla. I don't even know what's happening, but and they started going crazy and they got really muddled and weighed down by all this really crazy plot and they forgot to develop characters. That was a great thing about like 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, where like you really loved. There's 9 characters in all these games, in each of these games, and you loved every one of them. There was a guy you hated or you didn't use, but like each character's like, like I know Matt's 6, so I'll go for 7. But like there was Cloud, and like I loved Cloud, and there's Aeris, and Aeris is like, Aeris is my sweetheart. And
Who's Aeris? I know Aerith.
And then she
stop.
And then she dies, and then there's Tifa, who's like your young sweetheart, and then there's Barrett, the leader of the revolution. You're like, there's all these characters, and they made you feel for them and go on these side quests for them, and in 12 and 13, it's like there's all these characters, you just didn't care about them because they spent too much time on these really intricate, confusing plots that you just got lost and muddled in.
I'll never forget when 13 might as well have just handed you a glossary of terms to memorize.
Oh God.
Throw at you like the Lacille and the
the Farsi and the Ilse. I had to explain it to Kyle and Garrett on Facebook, and that was like several months ago. And I put it in like, here's the military, here's the rebel faction, there's aliens, and that's really what it is. And instead of just saying like simple terms, they're like, we should make weird hyphenated terms that nobody's gonna understand or remember, and just throw them around constantly and make them similar. I'm like, oh, that's a terrible idea. I don't know any Japanese names, so we're gonna call him Tim. That's a terrible idea, Tim. And they just went with it. So, and that's why 13 turned out like it did. And with its weird sequels too. I don't understand why they were sequels, but whatever.
Because Lightning is a very compelling character.
People love the shit out of Lightning.
The reality of it was the fact that they needed to recoup some of the cost of building their engine. And so they're like, well, we're just going to make new games reusing the same assets so they don't cost anything to make, really. And that's pretty much what they did for 10 years.
That's true. And remember, this was supposed to be 13 verses.
Yep. Smart of them to distance themselves from that.
I still wonder, they need to release, and I want this from Blizzard too, they need to release information on what the game would have been. Like, I want to know what 13 verses was, just like I want to know what Project Titan was, because that's what Overwatch is.
Right.
I hate when games do that. Like, hey, we had this game, we canceled it, and we took part of it and we brought it into this game. And well, what about that old game? No, we're not doing it. Well, I still want to know.
Right. I think like a retrospective. You
Like,
know?
there should have been like a Super Ultimate Edition that was like whatever. Like, I would have paid $100 for a Super Ultimate Edition if it was just the game and a book telling me what 13 Verses was, just because I want to know. That's really it. And because it seemed interesting. I read some snippets online from some leaked stuff, and it seemed kind of interesting. Like, another character, Luna Freya, existed. I heard, and this could be completely wrong and just some weird rumor, that Crow in the Glaive movie, in Kingsglaive movie, was the model for what the original Luna Freya was supposed to be. It had a completely different name. I don't remember the name, but it was Noctis and this girl and Crow, who was in the Kingsglaive movie, where they were the lovers or whatever in 13 Verses. And they just kind of, when they scrapped it, they just reused sort of models and stuff like that. So
Pretty much.
yeah,
I thought Chris would go jump in on that one.
no, yeah.
I would love for such a book to exist, but for some reason, no one ever wants to write down what these things were supposed to be.
The quote-unquote failures.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, Square Enix should own its Final Fantasy failures. Look at Final Fantasy 14. They realized that I played launch day Final Fantasy 14. Let me tell you, the game was a goddamn mess, and I was still excited for it.
I watched you play it. It was awful.
It was awful, and I did, but it like I said again, I have that love-hate relationship with 11. It felt like it was going to be as hard as 11. It was just awful to play. And I was hoping that they would redo it and it would kind of be as hard as 11, but they kind of made it a little too wowy for my taste. So, yeah, if any of your fans or anybody watching this or hears this and they hear me insulting 14, because 14's got a rabid fandom that I cannot insult. I've learned that the funny way. I don't want to say the hard way because it's not like they're going to do anything, but I've learned it the funny way that if you make fun of Final Fantasy 14 or tell people it's not that great or compare it to WoW, they lose their minds. And it's like, it's a little wowy for my taste. The story was okay from what I got when I went back to A Realm Reborn. And I thought it was really cool that they just didn't just reboot the game and like, all right, everything's different now. Go.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I like that they actually worked the reboot into the story.
Yeah, like something happened.
They keep mentioning like the cataclysm.
Yeah, like a cataclysm happened. All the heroes got swept away, and now you're back. Welcome back. It's like, oh shit, cool. All right.
Yeah, you're reborn, but with amnesia, and you have no idea what happened.
Exactly, and then you spend the game trying to figure out what happened. So
a lot else happened this week. 2 major events since our last podcast. The first is the Game Awards, and then the second was PSX 2016.
Wait, before you go on, don't forget there was a third major event. What was that game that came out?
Oh, no, we're getting there. Don't worry.
That's a third major event in my book, but go ahead.
No, because you know what? Oh shit. What did you do? No, Master, no.
For the love of God.
Yay.
It exists.
No, it's just crazy because in the span of 7 days, we got 2 games that had like a combined 20 years of game development.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
We did it.
That's at the very end of the year against all expectations.
Yeah,
and they're both good. Who saw that coming?
I've heard mixed things about. What's it called again?
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian. I heard mixed things about Last Guardian. I heard a lot.
Here's what the general consensus is, and then I'll explain why it doesn't matter to most people. The general consensus is the gameplay and the story, like in the intangible emotional stuff in the game, is superb and will blow you away. And for most people, overshadowed the technical issues. But the game has a lot of technical issues. Okay. But then again, so did Shadow of the Colossus and so did Eco. So like the major fans of that guy are like, yeah, but we expected that, and they didn't let that mar their experience. But then other people are like, no, bad technical issues do matter.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah.
To backtrack just a little bit, I will say Final Fantasy 15's camera is poo garbage at sometimes.
Yeah.
It is sometimes. What am I fighting? I don't know, a bush, because that's all I can see for this fight with 12 giant ram giraffes that I have to kill, but I can't see them, so I'm just fighting a bush as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to be here for 20 minutes fighting a bush because I can't see, because the camera doesn't move, or when I lock on, it goes behind me, and my back's facing the bush, so guess what? That's all I'm going to see for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but that's like my only
It's
technical
funny
problem I
if
have with the
you think of
game.
this because both of these games started as PS3 titles.
Yes, they did. Jesus Christ. So long in development. God.
And not only like PS3 titles, Final Fantasy 13 Versus was announced the same year the PlayStation was announced. The PS3.
That is
a full
right.
year before it actually came out.
Damn.
Like, real talk. That's crazy pants.
Sure is.
That's insane. But I'm good. The Last Guard. It's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't stand in line for it, but I would never deprive anybody of it. So I'm glad that it's.
I'm
that's
happy
doing
that
well.
people that are huge fans of his games. Like I am a fan of Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, but there are some people that are just hardcore, and I'm glad that there's no suicides going on. You know, because that was the other game that if it was like a huge flop, I was going to be like, oh, that sucks for those people.
Yeah, those 12 to 15,000 people that really love that game. I mean, there's more people that are going to play it, but there's like that core fan base that's going to play it like 18,000 times over and over and over again. And those 12 to 15,000 people, those people would have been super heartbroken, especially after so long.
Right.
They're very happy.
Yeah, they're very happy. That's good. That's good to hear. Well, continue. Your Game Awards, the PSX.
Yes.
I'm very sorry.
No. You're good. We are all about the tangents here. All right.
So tell me about the Game Awards first.
Chris, did you watch them?
Not a chance.
What? You didn't want to see? You didn't want to see not an best RPG on stage, but 3 musical performances? Come on.
3 garbage
So
musical.
here's what happened. Normally, I would hate watch the awards.
Hate watch.
They're trash. They're trash. But I forgot it was happening, and it wasn't until Matt texted me that the Game Awards were starting in 5 minutes. And then I was like, that's too late now. I'll just watch on YouTube later.
What do you mean it's too late? You could have just got on your computer and done it. What were you?
Nah, I just didn't feel like doing it. But let's be real. The Game Awards are a sham. They're a nice sham, but they're a sham.
They're a bit of a sham.
I mean,
especially
like who's their governing body? There's no one. It's just, you know.
I like to believe it's all the disheveled employees from G4 TV. Just a council of hooded nerds who were fired from or let go from G4 TV and who just make these weird decisions.
All those Attack of the Show interns.
It's got to be. I can't accept Game of the Year from them. That's ridiculous. It's unbelievable.
I know, and I like that it's there because it always gives us something to rag on them about.
Oh my god!
But if they had some sort of unifying body that had like a modicum of like credibility, it could be a real deal thing.
Chris, like
what? Jeff Keighley's not a credible entity. He's a guy.
No,
he's a guy.
Like, especially his speech about Kojima. Like, the man was tearing up.
Yeah.
And speaking of tearing up, when the guy that won the award for that Dragon Cancer.
Oh, God.
Yes, I heard about that speech.
That was good.
That was rough.
Like, that was good. I was hoping that was going to have a happier ending. It did not.
It did not. Turns out cancer is a bitch.
I understand that cancer is not fun. I'm just hoping, like, yeah, they made the game, they made money, they cured him, Magic Johnsoned him or whatever, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. He didn't have enough money.
No, didn't have enough money. That was an indie game.
Didn't have Magic Johnson money.
Not have Magic Johnson money. To cure an incurable disease.
If I learned anything from South Park, It's that if you have enough money and just inject it into your veins, you can cure anything.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got
So
all
what were the other highlights of the game?
I'm going through it. I've got all of the awards right here because a lot of them didn't go up on stage.
Yeah.
And then I'll go over the announcements because there were a cool ones, but nothing like crazy.
Yeah, nothing insane.
All right, so the awards were in order. Best esports game. Can you guess, Chris?
It's Overwatch.
It is Overwatch.
I'm fine with that. I have no strong feelings.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, its competition was Dota 2, League of Legends, Street Fighter V, and Counter-Strike. And I think for 2016, Overwatch was the new hotness.
Yeah, and also Street Fighter V had such a poor reception for such a bare bones game.
Yeah, at least initially. It's doing that weird thing that games do now where, like, the game that launched is not the same game as it is now. But for the mass majority of people, they're like, in their mind, it's over. Like, Street Fighter V is done.
Correct.
Now they're just looking forward to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh, which side note to that, did you get that text when I sent in the group about how Moreland killed video game Marvel vs. Capcom Spider-Man? So
It's true.
Should he be in this game?
Yes, because the whole game revolves around the Infinity Stones, and they can just bullshit their way back into it.
That is
it should be Miles.
Or it should be very nice. Well, technically Miles is its own separate character, according to the Spider-Verse, because he exists next to video game Spider-Man. So I don't know.
All right, so the next winners that matter, like who cares about esports team and esports player. Best fan creation was the Metroid 2 fan remake that Nintendo squashed.
Oh.
That's kind of hilarious that they got an award.
The best trending gamer, which got a whole segment, but we couldn't get best RPG on stage, was the guy that does the Francis videos.
Hate that guy.
Most anticipated game out of God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, and Red Dead Redemption 2. The winner was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's a really tough category to win.
Andromeda.
Best multiplayer was Overwatch.
Ugh, of course. But yeah, it makes sense.
Best sports/racing was Forza Horizon 3.
Even I want that game.
That game you should play the demo because the demo is like an hour long. It'll definitely tell you whether you want to keep playing or not.
All right.
Like, that's the thing. Like every time the Horizon series comes out, it always like makes it look like a fun burnout arcadey style racer, which is what I'm always about.
And I will say this Horizon, based on the demo that I played, is the most open world burnout game that exists. It's just here's Australia, drive around, get a car and race. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
Pretty much. After that, best family game went to Pokemon Go. Best strategy game went to Civ 6 because there is no competition when a new Civ game comes out. Best fighting
and also the
Wait, what
probably
what was it up against?
The strategy games that should win are too complex for everyone to play.
No, not really, actually. Fire Emblem for 3DS, the Banner Saga 2, the Total War Warhammer game, and XCOM 2.
I can't believe Banner Saga 2 didn't win. It's such a good game.
I can't believe XCOM didn't win.
Civ 6 is like releasing, your movie up against Lord of the Rings. It's just silly. You don't do that.
Fair enough.
Fighting game is Street Fighter V.
Sure.
What I find hilarious is the winner of Best RPG is an expansion. It's The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine DLC. Won Best RPG.
What was it up against?
Dark Souls 3,
Wow.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided, WoW Legion, and Xenoblade Chronicles X because Final Fantasy 15 had not come out yet.
That will definitely win next year.
Dark Souls 3 is kind of a big one.
I can't believe Dark Souls 3 didn't win.
Yeah.
Huh.
Dark Souls got robbed. That's
Rigged.
what the internet said.
Rigged.
Best action/adventure game was Dishonored Dose.
Yeah.
Best action game was Doom, which I thought it was really weird. They're like best action game and every single title was a shooter. I don't know why they didn't just have best shooter as a category. Because the category was Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears 4, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2.
See, when I think action games, I think more like Uncharted.
Right. I think
things
like
that.
or Devil May Cry or something like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. It's weird, but I guess they had no action games. What action games came out this year?
That is true.
Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4. You can't just have one in the category because that's
But
not
even
really.
then, the game that won the other category, Best Action Adventure Game, that's Uncharted 4 was nominated for that. So that's where it should have gone. But action game just makes me think of like hack and slash, like Devil May Cry stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think shooters. I think shooters is its own category. So I
I'm
guess they
just
can't.
surprised shooting didn't get its own category.
I guess it didn't want to have another category off stage.
Yeah. Best mobile was Pokemon Go, or it was mobile / handheld. Best VR went to Rez. Best independent game went to Inside. Then that Dragon Cancer won Games for Impact. Best performance went to my boy Drake. Best music went to Doom. Best art direction went to Inside. Best narrative went to Uncharted. Best game direction went to Overwatch, and Game of the Year went to Overwatch.
No, I can't believe game direction. What game direction? There was no game. Here's a bunch of characters shoot each other. There's no game direction.
All right. No, the actual announcements of Game Awards were they came out and announced that Bulletstorm was getting a remaster featuring Duke Nukem.
Nice.
The creators of Rocket League announced their new DLC. Kojima debuted a new Death Stranding trailer, which, mind fucked everyone.
I defy you to tell me what that game's actually about.
No one knows yet.
I know.
Nobody knows, Chris. But you know what? It's like
I just watched it.
Chris, I defy you to go look at any Metal Gear trailer before it comes out and tell me what the plot of that's going to be.
It's true.
It's gonna be. This looks more highbrow than any Metal Gear Solid game I have ever played and/or seen.
This is going to be a weird litmus test because this is Kojima Unchained. This is Kojima without any publisher telling him to rein his shit in.
I'm gonna say this, and I hope to God that it isn't true, but a small part of me prays to whatever God everyone believes in that it's god awful. Just because it's like, look, we had to rein him in. He's literally insane, but he's got great ideas. We just have to focus his insanity from time to time. Because if not, you get a tank with organs on it and Guillermo del Toro, who's not featured in the credits, with a baby machine. Like, what the hell is that?
And you did see what happens when you sync both trailers up. Right?
The baby disappears when the baby appears in the second. The baby in the first trailer disappears when the baby in the second trailer. Oh, it's awful.
There's two points I want to make about Death Stranding. I literally just watched the game trailers trailer before we started broadcasting. Number one, this seems like a fan film to show off all of his cool friends who want to be in his game, like Mads Mikkelsen and Guillermo del Toro and Norman Reedus.
Yeah, but
and number two, Kevin. I'm leaning a little bit to Kevin because I think there's going to be some great Schadenfreude if this game is just a huge turd.
Right? Like, he makes a great movie, but without other people directing him, the game itself is somehow garbage.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be. I think he still can pull it out, but it's going to be really hilarious if it's just utter shit.
Just super highbrow, bunch of
nonsense.
It's like this really rich Heavy Rain story, but then again, it's a Bayonetta Heavy Rain story, so it makes even less sense. Like, great, we got 8 hours of story. I have 0 cents. It's a super story-based game, which is super okay, but it's I keep saying Bayonetta because we all know how insane that fucking story is, and it's like, so this Bayonetta story, so like I have no idea what's going on. So it's going to be this really great story that like one film major is going to understand, and that's about it. That's like what I'm betting on almost. It's like, yeah, I have a master's in film from Harvard. I got it. It's the disparity of man and the economic crisis. Like, Jesus, I didn't get any of that. I got an organ tank shooting a baby. I don't understand what's
You're like,
happening.
no, you don't understand. It's actually a commentary on the on the apartheid. What?
How apartheids are bad.
The actual truth is, Kojima loves organs on tanks.
Yeah.
He thinks they're the sickest shit.
Organ trails. I get it.
We did it. We solved the puzzle.
It left.
That's what PT was really all about.
But like, and look, Guillermo del Toro is not in the credits. Mads and Norman are in the credits. So Guillermo del Toro just showed up in a trailer for no reason.
He just showed up to be like, sup.
And had the most emotion as Mads Funky Eye Mickelson shows up, because God forbid he doesn't have shit on his eyes when he does stuff now.
Right? Turns out he actually just had
It's
it
a great-
on his eyes from Doctor Strange. He hadn't taken a shower yet.
Mads is a great villain.
He's a great villain. He's that German guy from Inglourious Bastard. What? No, Inglourious Bastards. He's the chief. No, I'm talking about Tarantino's German guy. What was that? That guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Christoph Waltz.
Christoph. If Christoph and Mads were in a movie as villains, they should win.
Wait till they become the villains of Fast 9.
Oh my God! Then I'll never watch. I'll have to watch it.
The other announcements at the Game Awards where they gave us a new trailer for Zelda.
Yeah,
we got the debut of Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy, which I guess is coming after their Walking Dead Part 3 and the final episode of Batman, which comes out next week. And we got the final, the first true look at Prey. And then we got a cinematic trailer for Halo Wars 2. And they ended the show with what everyone was waiting for, the first true gameplay of Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh my God. And that just blew my mind.
I'm so excited for Andromeda.
Oh man. It's so good.
Prey reminds me of BioShock.
Yeah.
In a good way or a bad way?
They actually said that their inspiration is BioShock / System Shock meets Super Metroid.
Yeah, it's in a good way. It reminds me of like you're kind of alone, and there's like these weird, like the aliens that are boarding the ship are coming after you, and they don't really explain why in the trailer. I guess they might explain later, but for now it's like they're just coming after you, and you're kind of alone. And you have all these weird powers like you did in BioShock, and like the guy turned into a cup and then bounced through a tiny hole. Like that just like seems awesome.
For those who don't remember, a GameCube game called Geist.
I remember.
Where you possessed things like coffee cups and bowls of dog food. Turns out Prey 2 is secretly the sequel to Geist. For those
God forbid it was the
actual
actual sequel to Prey.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how they were gonna do a sequel to Prey. I mean, other than they would have had to like go Doom. It would have just been another Doom game at that point. Like Prey 1 was such a good game, but how it ended, it was, they would have had to. The Indian guy would have had to, Native American, whatever the hell, would have had to go into space and fight evil aliens trying to mulch people up, and it would just turn into another Doom. And I think at that point, well, Doom's already so successful, and you already have so many Doom-like games. Like you have Halos, and you have and Doom, and then you have things even like Gears of War, where you already have this like sci-fi shooter, blowy up action game, and they kind of went in this weird BioShock direction where it's a little slower, it's a little more thought-provoking, and it's a little more scarier. Actually, I remember BioShock 1 being a little more scary than BioShock 2 or even Infinite. So they kind of that's another feel. Like you're trapped. Like you're in BioShock, you're trapped in this underwater dome. In Prey, you're trapped in this space station. So you can't go outside. You're trapped in, and you're trapped in it with the things, and whatever those things are in BioShock or Prey, whatever, you're trapped in it with things. The things are trying to kill you, and you have guns, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you're just trying to get the hell. I'm assuming you're trying to get the hell out of there, which is what you're trying to do in both games. So that's why it kind of reminded me of BioShock, but in a good way, not in like a bad way. So I'm interested. You should, if you haven't seen it, Chris, you should watch it. the trailer.
I mean, I was always interested in a Prey sequel because I really enjoyed Prey 1, even though it feels like I played it a lifetime ago.
It is a lifetime ago.
But I'm still in for it. Like they haven't done anything to say I'm out because they haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I remember like Prey 2 was when Prey 2 was first announced. It was just gonna be like a direct sequel, and then that got scrapped. And then Prey 2, like I can't remember if they showed it like at E3 a couple of years ago. Whatever that was, it was like
many moons ago.
Yeah, it was like some guy running through like an alien. It was a human being running through an alien space station, and I assumed since we had contact with aliens, we had finally joined up with them, and now we're just bounty hunters. You know,
that's what it was
I
about.
feel like
but now it's like I don't know what it's about. So but then again, I hope they connect it somehow, because if not, then why the hell call it Prey?
I'm sure they will.
I feel like that trailer debuted the same time that 1313 was still a thing. I feel like those trailers were around the same era.
I miss 1313.
I do not. I hope they make a good Star Wars game, but at the same time, we had so little information. It's like, yeah, it seemed like it would have been great, but it also could have been terrible because there was so little information, and you know.
True. We were going off pure hype.
Very true.
It was pure hype, and it's people like it would have been great. Like, no, calm down. You have no idea if it would have been anything.
It probably would have been great.
It probably would have been great, but it was so little. I mean, from going from like on paper and like a few screenshots and a few videos, it could have still turned out terrible, just god awful garbage.
Yep.
I mean, think of how many games turned out just garbage that we've been so hyped for, and it's just too human. Duh. Two worlds. Ta-da! Like
every game that starts with 2.
It sounds great on paper, and then you just get it, and it's like, this is not good. So,
yeah.
But I was saying. Yeah,
well, next up is PSX and its press conference announcements.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to go and just talk about all the announcements, and if there's something that you want to discuss, jump on in.
Okay.
There's an action RPG, Fallen Legion, that's coming out on both PS4 and PS Vita. Each version is going to be different. The PC game Dreadnought is coming to PS4 with the giant, crazy space battles with the giant ships. Got a chance to play that. That was actually way more fun than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be very sim, like those other kind of space sim games, but it's more arcadey style. Yakuza is getting Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza 6 are both coming to the West, which no one saw coming. Kiwami being a remake of the original, so Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 6.
I'm excited for 6 because the Yakuza series seems like it's a really in-depth kind of fun series that just does not get enough love in America.
It does not.
I'm surprised they agreed to bring 6 over.
Who's ready for some volleyball, disc ball on the beach or something?
Windjammers?
Windjammers, because it's coming back.
Jesus.
My Twitter will not shut the fuck up about Windjammers. It drives me insane.
There's only one volleyball, and it's dead or alive, all right? That's it.
Yeah. Fact. New PSVR title Dino Frontier was announced. We got to see more of Supergiant Games' Pyre, the people that made Bastion and Transistor.
Oh, cool.
We got a brand new trailer for Ni no Kuni 2.
Yes.
We got to see, they finally confirmed that Danganronpa 3 is coming to America. We got to see Ken Griffey Jr.'s retro mode for MLB The Show. We got a release date for the Nier Automata action RPG from Square. Cool. Destiny debuted their final piece of content before they announced Destiny 2.
God, Destiny 2 better be good.
I really hope so.
I thought Rise of Iron was the last bit.
Yeah, this isn't like a paid expansion. This is just going to be like an event type thing.
Yeah, I know, like
it's a new Sparrow racing thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
see.
Jump back on that.
Let It
Destiny.
Die was unveiled, and then they're like, and it's available today, mother truckers.
Nice.
The free-to-play
That's
game
the
by
Suda51 game, right?
Yeah. Featuring a skateboarding death with googly eyes, because why not? It's basically Suda51's take on Dark Souls.
Huh.
Final Resident Evil 7 got a demo update.
Oh, I'm
They
excited for that
finally
game.
debuted the Crash Bandicoot remaster trilogy. Knack 2 is coming. Who saw that?
Oh my god!
Nobody saw Knack 2
Why?
coming.
I read about that and I was like, why are you doing this? We're gonna fix things. It's their new Killzone. That's what it is.
No. Here's what I think of Knack 2. Like, Knack reminded me a lot of Cameo.
No.
Game that came out at launch and was flawed, but you could see how a sequel could do better.
Yeah.
But Cameo never got it. So I'm hoping if Knack 2 is garbage, then it's dead to me.
No.
But I'm hoping.
I mean Killzone in the sense, like, I remember when Killzone came out.
Oh God, the Halo killer.
And Sony was like, it's a Halo killer, this and that.
Never works. That never works.
And then a game came out and it didn't even have a fucking jump button. And it was awful. And then I was like, well, this game is terrible. And it's over. It's done. And then a few years later, like, Killzone 2, it's like, let it go. What are you doing?
But Killzone 3 was good.
Killzone 3 was good. It took them 3 tries to get to a
But don't you know,
Killzone.
third time's the charm.
Oh, man.
I just can't believe they looked at Knack and was like, we can do better.
Hey, would you rather they looked at Knack and go, we did good?
Well, I'm sure Cerny.
Yeah, because they wouldn't make another one.
I'm sure Cerny was like, "You got to make a sequel," because I'm like,
Cerny had their balls in a vice grip and was
Yeah.
like, "My baby is Knack, and he's getting a second coming."
Yep,
Like,
Cerny
Jesus.
probably had something.
My favorite was that this fucking Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account tweeted out a picture, and he said that it was their unprecedented partnership with Sony, and then it was a brand new game in quotes called Sonic and Knackles. And I sent it to Chris, and I just got the world's biggest internet eye roll.
How do you not like that gold, Chris? Sonic and Knackles.
No fucking way.
All right.
It's the best.
Parappa the Rappa, Patapon, and Loco Roco, so a trilogy of musical-based games are all getting remasters on 2017.
Nice.
Gravity Rush 2 has been confirmed that all of its DLC will be free, and they showed off a trailer for the first expansion, because that game comes out in a month. The new Ninja Gaiden Team Ninja game, Neo, the Animusha meets Ninja Gaiden game is coming, got a new trailer. The big news, of course, the next is like the big news. Like, those are all the things leading up. And then the biggest news was, let's see, Wipeout is getting an HD trilogy. They're remaking the top 3 Wipeout games and remastering them for PS4. We got a new trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn. There were people that made Resogun and are teaming up with the creator of Smash TV to make a new game called Nex Machina.
Okay.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite coming to PS4 in 2017, but unlike Street Fighter, is not exclusive. And they also got Marvel vs. Capcom 3 released that day. Uncharted 4's first story DLC ever, called The Lost Legacy, was announced, where you play as Chloe, who is missing from 4, and her experiences with Nadine, the evil mercenary owner from Part 4. And then finally, Kevin's favorite game got a sequel in The Last of Us 2, which also by Naughty Dog, and also features Ellie as the main character, which means Naughty Dog gave 2 fingers to all the people that bitch about female leads in video games, because that's all you get from them for the next 2 years.
I love female leads. I don't understand this Gamergate bullshit. Female leads are fine. Leave them alone. Just do it.
No, can't, because they're not real people, and
They don't matter.
Yeah.
Look, my problem with The Last of Us, the first one, was it was super predictable at every turn. Here's my partner. Oh my God, she's gonna betray me. Oh my God, the rebels are bad. Oh my God, this spoiler alert. Ellie's
Spoilers.
Ellie's the cure. Uh, oh my God, it's gonna kill it. I was sitting there, I was playing. My friend Jaron watched me play it, and I was sitting there and
Were
I would
you
be
in
like,
Texas at that time?
yes, I was playing. Jaron was watching me play, and I would just sit there and I go, oh, this bitch is gonna betray me. 2 minutes later, I'm betraying you. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And it's like, all right, I bet you this girl's a cure. I'm the cure. Oh, son of a bitch. And it's like, I bet the rebels are bad. We're gonna turn on you. Oh, come on. And it's like, we're gonna rip the cure out of her head. Like, okay, that was different, but at the same time, I was like, I bet you they're gonna have to kill her to get this cure somehow. We're gonna rip her brains out. Oh, come on. Like every time I turned around, it was stupid, predictable story. It was a cut. It was a cut and paste of every like generic zombie story ever. However, the characters are phenomenal. They are great. I kind of care what happens to Ellie and Joel. I just hope they don't set it to the background of like, we gotta go save everybody. Like, just
No, we know that what we know about part 2 is that it's going to be a revenge story. Apparently, at some point, Ellie got a new girlfriend or somebody important to her was killed.
are you sure about that? Because the rumor is Joel's dead and she's seeing things.
Oh, shit. That's better.
That would be great, and it would explain all the horribleness of when Ellie would just sprint at the bandits, but not alarm them because you were behind cover.
Yeah.
That was my-
No, but the thing about that was a little suspension of disbelief, but can you imagine how frustrating the game would be to play if every time Ellie ran out, she would aggro the enemies?
I would have killed her myself.
There was, and as a game called The Last of Us, there were far too many humans to be outnumbered by these weird zombie mushrooms. Like it's just teams of bandits. Like at some point they should be like, there's like 700 of us. Why don't we just all sweep through the city and kill the 7 zombies?
Nah, you can't do it.
No,
Here.
there's no time.
Fuck humanity.
They're busy making toast.
They're busy cannibalizing people.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm much in the same boat as Kevin, where I forgive the story for being very predictable because the characters are so well done.
Yes.
So having said that, I'm very excited for part 2.
I will buy it when it drops in price. That's what I will say about. And you can come at me, internet. I'll buy it when it drops in price.
No, that's fine.
Buy it used.
Wow.
That's totally
Is it
cool.
hot here, or is it just that take, you guys?
No, but there's nothing wrong with that. Not every game has to be everyone's favorite. Like I hate this mentality that if a game's popular and you don't like it, you're suddenly a bad gamer.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
That's not how this works, people. There are games of different genres and different types because not everyone likes the same shit.
Except Final Fantasy 15. If you don't like it, go to hell. Anyway.
That's true. No, that's different. That's Final
No,
Fantasy
fact.
15. But like,
There's that stigma that came with The Last Guardian, and of course it's Final Fantasy 15. If you don't like these games, you can go to hell. And Last of Us.
if you don't like this, you can go straight to hell.
Yeah, I know. If you don't like this very special game, we just shit talked Death Stranding a little bit back a few minutes ago, and I'm sure if somebody heard that, they'd be like, "It's Hideo Kojima. It's the best thing ever."
Yeah, there's people, especially on the internet era. People are just cray-cray, son.
There's these nuggets in the world. Like if somebody doesn't like Titanfall, it's okay. If somebody doesn't like Overwatch, it's all right. If somebody doesn't like World of Warcraft Legion, it's okay. But if someone doesn't like a Hideo Kojima game or like the Last Guardian game or any game that company makes, then like it's just these weird little nuggets of awful that people just get rabid about, and it's terrible. And I don't understand it. Like I said once I didn't like Shadow of Colossus in Texas to this guy,
Cool.
and I never. He wasn't gonna hurt me. I would have eaten him, but he just got. He's like, it's one of the best games ever made. It's art. It's high art. It's high fantasy. How can you not like it? I was like, I just thought it was a little boring and the controls were clunky and it's just not my cup of tea. How dare you? I was like,
Yeah.
all right, well,
Can't do it.
you want to go outside and fight about it? I'm sure I'll win.
Well, the final thing to talk about before we call it a night is because we didn't get to do it last week, the news of the Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus games for December.
Oh, what is it?
So, Xbox 360 is getting the indie game Outland, where you switch. It's like a bullet hell game, but merged with a Metroid game.
Nice.
Okay.
And Burnout Paradise.
Oh, good.
Whereas Xbox One is getting Sleeping Dogs.
Nice.
And Outlast.
Ooh. Sleeping Dogs is a good game, and I'm very sad that it got zero love.
Yeah.
I wish I liked Sleeping Dogs more.
And then you find out that the studio went under because of it all, and it just makes me sad.
It's like a super sad story.
I played like 4 or 5 hours, and it didn't click with me. And it has everything that I would normally like in it, and it didn't work, and I'm not sure why.
I'm not sure why either. It's like your jam, son.
Yeah, especially Mr. Mafia 3 over here didn't like Sleeping Dogs.
I know. I don't get it. It just didn't work for me.
It happens.
And I wish I liked it more.
I thought it was good. I mean, I never beat it, but I got like 20 hours into the game. I got overwhelmed with it. There's a lot of side quests. A ridiculous amount of side quests. And I am not... And I to contradict my Final Fantasy 15-ness, a lot of side quests usually I get overwhelmed because I usually feel like I have to complete them. And they just weren't... A lot of them weren't fun enough, or they were just too repetitive. And I was just doing the same thing kind of over and over and over again. And it wasn't fun enough to do over and over and over again. So that was a problem with Sleeping Dogs for me. But I still got like 20 hours in that game. So
also, I thought its driving mechanics were pretty poor considering how much driving you had to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you leveled up driving and you did all the cool stunts, it was awesome. But they were also super hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Also, I'm glad I paid for Outlast 2 months ago.
What, Chris? We can download it, and if we can't figure out a game for the charity event, we can just all play scary games, and that could be one of them.
Oh God! You know what? That might actually work for charity.
Just scaring the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
You have to be in a dark room.
Dark room. Have a little night vision camera on whoever's playing's face. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Now, finally, the PlayStation Plus games.
Okay.
We have for PS4 the strategy game Invisible Ink. Maybe not strategy is the right word, like a tactical game, like XCOM style.
Yeah.
And then the game I loved so much earlier this year, even though you wouldn't think it'd be that good. Stories: The Path to Destiny, the game that mixes like Disney's Robin Hood with Batman.
No, okay.
Oh yes, I remember that game.
Like it's the Arkham Knight combat, but in a world of talking animals like Disney's Robin Hood.
All right,
I like that a lot. I'm gonna download that.
PS3 gets 2 games I've never really heard of called Hyper Void and Tiny Troopers Joint Ops. So sure. And Vita gets the indie game VVVVVV, which is that game that came out a while ago about gravity shifting.
Uh-huh.
And Color Guardians, a game I know nothing about, so I cannot comment on them. So there's your games.
Not a great lineup from PlayStation this month in terms of like marquee names.
PS4 games, yes, but there are no they're all indie. There's no AAA title this year.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
This month. Yeah. But yeah, so that about wraps it up.
I think this was very successful for our first long-distance stream.
Yeah. I think it worked well. I'm happy that Kevin could join us to talk games and Final Fantasy.
I'm glad we were able to look at your shirt all night.
Yay. I don't know where the camera's facing. I can't see. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, to be fair, we probably should have mentioned that. There you are.
There's your face. Ah! Hey!
Nope,
we lost it.
Looking at your chest all day.
Yeah, he should have said something. I don't
Well,
know
you know
why
what?
he didn't.
I thought it was one of your weird things where you didn't want your face on camera.
Well, you should have been like, I turned I have the whole thing turned around, so I see I'm looking at the back of my Surface right now. I see
There
nothing.
you go. See, now we can see you.
All right. Well, I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Kevin.
Yep. And we'll see you next
Question
time.
mark? Yay.
Yay. All right.
Yay.
And stop broadcast.